pa 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 pum pum pa is Beardos.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
And then the right hand.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna slide.
How much of a good boy I've
Say
taken.
vocabulary.
I know what I said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very good.
It's very good, yeah. Hola.
Beardos.
Beardos. Is
Dos beard one or no?
Beard one and dos.
Beard.
We should say pelado
Yeah.
Beardos because we are
Beardo.
bold.
Okay, let's get into a topic.
Yeah, man.
So, what do you think of the word cunt?
Fucking love the word cunt. It's a fucking great word, man.
But don't you think it's like
Nah, it's Australian vocabulary. It's the one thing I've
did you
taken.
say vocabulary?
I know what I said. Because
I don't know what I say, motherfucker.
Look, the accent actually, the Spanish Latino accent, our V's are like B's sometimes. So I will translate my V's to have
Okay.
that B. So sometimes
Yes, that's very good.
it's very good. Yeah. So my vocabulary,
Yes.
it's like that. Yeah. Yeah, I love cunt. Cunt's great.
I know you like cunts.
No, just because you know what? It's my wife's fault.
That you like cunts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, saying it as much as I've been saying it,
Yeah.
I blame my wife because
Okay.
she's full Australian, and that's like I can't even.
Ah.
Yeah, and so it's been my vocabulary the last 5 years. Just
What do you think of the? Obviously, some people are offended by it.
a lot of no, but Australia is almost like it's normal, much more normal than a lot of places around the world.
Sure,
Like you say it in America, and they'll cry or something.
but why though? Do you think? Because I feel like I find it here as well. I feel like it's like the word moist. Like they have a see, why does that? It doesn't do anything to me. Like neither does cunt. I think cunt's a new word for me.
Right.
But I thought, like, I find it not as aggressive. I find it like sup. Like it doesn't do anything to me.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's not like, I guess we're guys. We don't feel that. We probably, women feel that a lot more.
Again, my wife is the one that taught me. So
Right. So it's also.
yeah, I think
Is that like saying like I can say the N word because I have a black friend?
No, it's not the same. It's nowhere near the same. Everyone can say
I like that
cunt.
you had to think about it.
No, I mean, yeah. I think the funny thing is, it's like, I think it's a class thing.
Okay.
It's 100% a class. Like if you're very conservative, you saying that word really hurts for people in Turak or something.
Right.
You know, you go to Sunbury or my side of town or like whatever.
I'm not from here.
Right.
I'm not from anywhere. But at the same time, it's just one of those things where I think when people put logic into curse words, it doesn't work.
Logic into. Yeah, I mean, if you put in, you shouldn't do that.
Huh?
You shouldn't. You have to. You know what I mean?
It's like I made us what
You
logic
broke it.
into words. I think. Look, I have another thought on that too. Is like
Yeah.
I feel like if people who do get offended, I would say, if
Don't come to my classes.
No.
You're gonna,
If
you're gonna have a bad time.
if dickhead is not offensive, neither is cunt.
Yeah, I mean, why? I think for the majority of Australia people, they don't see that word as offensive. As offensive as like.
Are you sure? I feel like that could be like, I guess in some context, you know what I mean?
We could just say it a bunch of times on the street and see who's like.
All right, let's do it right now.
Yeah,
Let's
do
go.
it.
Let's go. So I can't. Yeah.
Again, I think it's a class thing. I think it's a social thing. It depends on where you're at.
Right.
If you're in poorer side of town,
I think cursing in general in Australia is kind of like a lot more acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't think I can imagine myself cursing at my kid. I would curse at them, but not with those. You fudging mother fudgers.
Nah. We actually have neighbors. They're horrible. They just would yell at their kids.
What do you think of that?
I hate it. I fucking hate it.
For the kids or just hearing it?
Both. Those kids are fucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's no, you can't help them now.
Yeah.
And even if you try to call child services, it ain't gonna do shit. That stuff ain't gonna do anything. If anything, they're gonna get pissed at us because we're new neighbors there, and like out of nowhere.
I don't know. Is it child abuse?
It is. Yeah. Yelling at your kids is still considered child abuse.
But then, like you said, here it's acceptable.
Not to yell at your kids, not like that. I'm saying the swearing for adults is and saying cunt, it's fine. But like I wouldn't say you little cunt as much for my kid.
You know what I find more annoying?
What's that?
Or like I think is more of a child abuse?
No.
The good words. Hi.
You're such a good boy.
No, like,
such a good boy.
Good boy is fine, but like champ, legend.
That's a very old people.
What do you
like?
Why?
I'm sorry. No, that's an old. That's an old.
White.
What's going on? Yeah, it's very white.
Yes.
Oh, good on you, champ.
Yeah, that I don't know why that's so annoying to me. Like, good on you, champ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
legend.
yeah,
Legend, man.
okay, yes.
Again, that's like depending on where you're at. Like,
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? I think this can go a roundabout way because we went on a massive tangent, right? From anything that we were trying to say. But I think language and that very, very important for when we teach our classes. Like how much of a good boy are you when you teach your classes?
I agree. I think there's a lot of negative reinforcement, not a lot of positive reinforcement. In the sense of like like in my classes, I go like, "You got it. I believe in you. Almost there." Like I treat them like not kids necessarily, but in that kind of like, "Oh, you're okay. You'll be okay." Because like most of the times when you're doing classes, the faces are like that. You know what I mean? And you don't want that face. And as soon as I see that face, and you can tell, like, when they get it, they do the yes.
Yeah.
Like kids, you know what I mean? That's such a human thing to do.
Yeah, you click.
So when you get there, I think that you need to give a lot of positive reinforcement so that they keep looking for that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the people-pleasing people and the people who are, like, looking up to you and the people who are always dancing like this, looking at you while they're dancing, they're looking for that to go, good job, you did that.
Yeah.
You know, and look, most of the time the people come to classes to do things that they think they couldn't do. You know what I mean? So that it's good to acknowledge it for them.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
And like there is like they feel watched in a good way. So they'll be like in their heads going, and then I'm going to left hand.
Yeah.
And then the right hand.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to slide. That feels good, right? And then you hear the teacher go, good job. Yeah, I did. That was me.
I did it.
That was me. I did it. I did. See, he said good job. You know what I mean? Like there is something human in you that goes like, yeah. And like it's the same feeling like when you hit something in the music. Like you get there, ta, 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 ta.
And you nail it, yeah.
And you get that feeling.
Yeah, I get it.
It's that. Yeah.
I think you know what it is. It's and I use that in my classes as well. Positive reinforcement, but not nearly as much. I think I'm getting bitter and old in my age.
I think sometimes that could be a brand. You fucking can't just.
You know what? It totally, because there was a teacher back in the day. I won't name names, but back in the day, at least in Sydney, he was super aggressive.
I just put out a name.
Aggressive.
I just made Tony, John, or Chris whenever I need to.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm 90%. I'll hit something.
You'll hit somewhere. Maybe actually, he had a really bizarre name, but anyway, his whole shtick was like hard. Was it hard love? No, what do you call it?
Tough love.
Tough love. So, and tough love, like that was his shtick. He would just, you guys are like no better. And
okay.
And when I first, and maybe this is coming for you because you're just starting out.
Yeah.
And you're probably adding more of the positive vibe. And me in my bitter old age, I'm starting to be like, oh shit. Do it again. Yeah. Like, oh, that could have been better. And I'm not starting, like, this is probably something I have to work on, but it's like, I would like to start off more in a positive light or at least
and then bring all their hope out of them, and then
just take any soul out of their life. It's like, that was good.
Yeah, I'm not sad. I just am disappointed.
Yeah,
in you.
yeah.
That like end of thing. Like, why did you wake up today?
Why are you here? Why did
just
you not
put the money down and leave? Just what are you doing? Just the next time, just put the money and then just leave. Don't waste my time.
The funny thing is, I had like, okay, I try and get a good line, a good baseline. I try to go positive, but also I'm gonna break your nuts a little bit, and then I'll come back with a positive to go, okay, you did it, because the last time you did it wasn't great, but this time you nailed it. Sweet. And then you might have this happening for you as well. You'll have maybe a particular student that I'm sorry, they just don't get it. They will never get it. They just don't have it. And you feel sad because you want to help them, and you can't. You can't help them.
I think there's also, usually when I do classes, I have like 2 or 3 students that I use as my gauge. Right. I would have a student that I know should nail this. No problem. Should have one that's always positive and wanting to learn. Yeah. And then there's one that has no chance of learning. Yeah. And I think I focus on those 3 and like look to them to see where we're doing in class. Yeah. So if the guy who usually nails us is struggling, maybe I should make it simpler. If the middle guy is yawning, oh shit, I need to make this fun. Yeah. If the guy who's not nailing it somehow gets it, then the whole class, like I give that class like, oh my God, guys, I can't believe it. Today I woke up and I thought you guys are all failures. Even this guy got it at a point, but I go,
I think to get that balance is super hard. Like I always look at the class as a whole, and if the majority is getting what I'm
like as a whole, as in, can I stick my dick in it kind of hole, or
I would like to. I would like to do that. It was a good time. Okay. As a collective, right? The majority has to kind of rule. Like I think back in my day when I started, I looked at the weakest link and catered to the weakest link because I couldn't get it. I find at least my teaching style nowadays, and I'll come back around with the thing I was going to say. I'll come back around, but you can't actually cater to the minority of that. Like even if the minority is like they can nail it or they can't nail it, those are not the important ones. The important ones are the majority. If the majority has gotten what you're putting down, and you could probably push another one. My trick is, while they're doing their thing, while they're practicing, right, during a song, I can always go to the minorities and give them a tweak, right. If you can do this, add this, sweet, they can play with that, or give them that option straight away. And the ones who've got it, they'll do it. The ones who don't have it, I already have an option for them. Is like, if you can't get it, just do this basic stuff, whatever, right? Anyway.
How serious are you though when you do that?
I am. No, I'm serious.
I go, well, if you're a fucking loser, do that.
Also, yes. Yeah. Like, I like to add a little bit of funnies into it, but yeah, for sure. Like if you're, what I say is if you want to be a smartass, right. My thing is you want to be a smartass, and what I mean by smartass is like a show-off person, someone who shows up. You want to be a smart because I'm
listening more. I'm listening in more. It's because this is my give me smart ass tips.
Tell me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The smart ass thing is my shtick. Okay. It's like if you want to be a smart ass, you can add this bibs and bobs. Okay. If it's too much for you, this is your bibs.
So I've been teaching bachata for a bit now, and you are doing what?
I've been
wasting everyone's time.
Yeah. It's fair. Yeah. I've been teaching kizomba for about 10 years.
Okay.
Been in the dance scene for fucking longer than that.
Okay. So so when you were born, like what dinosaur did you ride?
What dinosaur did I
ride to school? Yeah.
I rode a Stegosaurus.
Like Rex? or just the standard?
Just the
Budget. Okay.
Just the budget version.
Okay.
from
So you're from the poor part of the town. Good.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, man.
All right. So let's talk about, because I wanted to talk about how you make your dance class your bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes
Some choking helps.
I think they like it. I think so.
Yeah, well, it's gonna make it their idea.
Okay.
It's their.
How do
idea
you do
to
that?
get
How do you do that? Like, oh no, seriously, like classes can be so tough.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things because I feel like as dancers we can feel energies,
Yeah.
we can feel the vibe, so it's a bit more, it's not like a class as in school. You have to kind of feel energy of the music, energy of the class, and kind of always be changing.
Yeah.
You can't be just like, this is my shtick, I'm going to stick to it no matter what the class is.
Well, the funny thing is that a lot of teachers actually use that.
I mean, I'm talking
that
about
rule.
good teachers. Okay.
We're getting off the game, bro. Yeah. Look, I have a preference in adapting to my class,
Okay.
but I still have the thing I want to be able to teach, and I bring that in the door straight away. Like, this is my topic. We're doing this whether you like it or not, but we'll do it in a level that's suitable for you guys.
How do you judge that? Look, first of all, that, like, the stuff like I'm doing what I want to do. Like, do you actually get a lot of resistance to people going like, no, actually, I wanted to do this?
No.
So then,
No. But that's a presence that you bring.
Right.
When it comes to being a teacher, you eventually get good at walking in the room and having that presence. If you're going, oh, hey,
I
what
think
do
so.
you want to do? Like, don't give them an option.
Mm.
You just like, a lot of people, funnily enough, they don't have an idea what they want to learn.
Right.
The majority of people just want to go in there and go, tell me what to do, daddy.
Okay.
And daddy does it.
Okay. I know. And then you can be a good girl or a good boy.
Oh, both.
Or both.
If you want to have a great
If you wanna, I think preparation matters. I feel like a lot of a lot of teachers don't prepare, and I think it shows. To be honest, I feel like for me, when I feel prepared, I'm almost excited to, guys, let me show you this amazing thing. And I think people feed off that, like, I don't care what I wanted, but this guy seems to be excited about it.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of that where introducing the topic. It's not like I'm be like a dictator about it.
Right. We're doing this and that's it, but you've already prepared what you had, and you can explain how you've prepared the thing.
Well, I don't necessarily explain how I prepared it. I just go like, I know you had plans for today,
right?
But we are taking you on a journey today.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go like,
yes,
I don't know what that is, but take me, just take me on this journey. Yeah. I think that's what, I don't feel resistance to like how classes, like what the topic is generally.
No, generally you won't get that.
Okay.
You won't. There's very few people that will actually come to you and going, no, I actually wanted to learn this. They might not come back afterwards because they wanted to learn a certain style. There's a difference to that. But in overall, they want to come there, they want to learn a thing, and they came to you because they know that you're going to give them something.
True. I think it's one of those things where, like, when you start teaching, how do I say, like, for like bachata, we have 3 or 4 different styles, but there's people who go like, oh, I like sensual, and they hate, for example, the Dominican or something. It's because they've been introduced.
Why would you hate shit? Like, no, but
I think it's a preference,
right.
But they express it as like, oh, I don't like it, or it's something that I don't do. But the reality is,
how good are you in bachata? You can't do that.
That's true, but I think there's people, because if you're going to be specific about it, like a lot of Dominican dancing is introduced as very fast footwork.
Sure.
And that's all people know. And they go like, I barely am dealing with this stuff. Why am I dealing with all this footwork? And when am I going to use it?
Yeah.
I think it was never introduced properly, I think I was reintroduced to it midway through my training.
Yeah.
And I think it was introduced really well. Shout out to my teachers.
Who are your teachers?
Oh, I don't want to say it, but I feel like I'll, not because I don't want to mention them. I feel like I'll miss out people. And
Okay,
I'll give you one. So like during isolation, Ronaldo, who we learned with, like we had like almost 101 class, because what the classes was like, he would slow down the Dominican songs, and like he would introduce slower songs and break down the moves slowly, and then basically give us a challenge every week. So we had to but the challenge was, here's a choreo, see if you can do it. And then we would just film it. And then it was almost like a competition. So we were kind of like, the other teachers were trying to do it and we were doing it. So we had all the time in the world too, because we weren't doing anything during isolation. So, having a goal in the end of it and really making it look good, and especially because it's on camera, you can't cheat it, you can't half-ass it, and learning it slowly and building speed really changes it, and you start feeling the music a little bit more different. And I'm going like deep into the Dominican side. We'll get back to it. We'll get back to teaching. But shout out to Ronaldo. We really invest a lot of time, and it's really improved my Dominican.
That's awesome.
That's but cool. I feel like it takes teachers like that, like who introduce the topic in a new way. So you think it's more a fear of trying new things than it is like being afraid. Like, you know what I mean? Than like saying I don't like it.
I get that.
Okay. And like even personally for me, like salsa is something I really don't like. Like I know it's blasphemy.
I thought you were trying it for a little while.
I tried, and I think I had really bad experiences with people and the music. And there's parts of the music that really annoys me still. And I think there are certain moves to me looks very silly. So okay. I don't know. I think there are parts of it I don't think is cool. I'm sure like I'm like there's some salsa haters coming at me soon. But it's one of those where like I haven't felt it, and even the music, I haven't really enjoyed it as much. But now it's been reintroduced to me in different ways,
right? And
that's kind of opening doors again for me. And look, again, like I feel like every dancer should try every style as much as they can. And I think
at least the what do you call it? The big triad, the big three. Triad. Sorry, triad.
Triad, bro. It's triad.
It's a triad.
It's like a tree.
I think the standard triad for that, obviously, you have your salsa, your bachata, and it's a mix between either kizomba or zouk. I think kizomba is kind of beat zouk in that at least here. We've kind of just
here in Melbourne, by the way.
Here in Melbourne, sorry, just a little bit more.
I think it all transfers. That's the whole point. I feel like I am introducing a lot of kizomba into bachata and a lot of bachata into kizomba. I feel like those blend really well. And I come from a little bit of hip hop background too, so I'm able to put my thing in the middle and be like, what do you mean? It's not kizomba, it's not bachata. It's something different. You know, and those help. And I think just like being able to play with timing when it comes to using kizomba elements in bachata, I'm really excited about that kind of stuff. And same the other way. And like when you teach your bachata, like you can tell, like in class, they're like, what is this? I didn't know you could lead with your feet. You know, and like anyone who's done kizomba will be like, that's standard practice. You're supposed to move the other person's body with your feet. Like, and just holding your frame a little bit different, and like knowing when to be soft, when to be hard, you know, and excited about it. Going back to teaching. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just on that topic alone, like what's Nick's trying to say is that I add kizomba to or at least elements of kiz, mostly urban stuff, into some bachata. That makes enough sense. There's actually a lot of stuff in there, but I do that because I'm primarily a kizomba teacher. So and then so coming back to the discussion of we went on a massive tangent, but next time we'll break down some more of those elements. But I think something interesting you mentioned before is how well prepared can translate to our students, right? It's funny because if you are in the game as long as I've been, preparation means fuck all sometimes.
Okay.
Because my brain automatically knows how to run a class.
Right.
So I can rock up with just the vaguest of themes that I want to work on. And I just run an entire class and I haven't flinched a bit. When I started, it took me 2 hours to prepare and writing down, and this is exactly what I do. Don't get me wrong. Preparing is great, especially if you want to do like a very, very specific course, very specific workshop. But I'm talking about your regular, you're there every week, 2, 3, 4 times, maybe in a week. And you you don't have the capacity to constantly build, because again, a lot of the students, they have a tiny amount of space in their brain to take on. It's true. Unfortunately, it is. Like the first 15, 20 minutes, that's all they got. That's all they got. And if you overdo it in your own brain, I prepared a full hour and I've had this. Some people that works. For me, it doesn't always work because I feel like I just don't have the time to sit down and prepare completely.
Yeah.
But if you walk in like you have, that's a cheat code.
I think, look, the experience really counts. I think.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I think what happens is, like, I haven't been doing this for that long teaching. I think there's a lot of people who like are new teachers who see the more experienced teachers and go like, I guess preparation time is like half an hour before the class. Let's just figure something out. And like, no hate to them. Like, obviously, as you do it more, you get really good at that too. And I think that like you said, like at your experience level, you just have to worry about a concept. I think for me, I'm like in the earlier stages where I'm like, I need to feel it. Like, I'll have a concept. I want to like play with it and be like, okay, this flows into this. And I'm sure this person will get excited when this feels good. Yeah. And I think that preparation at this point is essential to me because I don't have the experience to go, here's the concept, I'm just going to go. The actual teaching part versus the actual choreo matters. Especially here in Melbourne, there's a lot of demos. So we usually run a class, we will break it down, and then we'll have a demo by the end of it. And because there's so much elements, and it is going to be in a weird way forever, like because the video is out and it's out there, and anyone who looks you up will have that as your last performance or the last thing they see. Sure. There is a little bit pressure of like that preparation for me at least. And I think there is, I think that kind of pressure helps me kind of just don't wing it.
There's a difference when it comes to how you prepare your classes to then how you translate what you just taught into your demos and stuff like that. Like, full disclosure, I prepare a class way better than I prepare a demo. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Because for me, I need to train a lot with my partner to make sure she feels comfortable with the shit that's coming up in my head, because that just happens. And sometimes it's not 100% like what it's in the class. And I've already had it in my head, and then I've had to translate and teach completely to the bottom. So this is where it comes bad when you don't prepare with your partner, right? You cannot translate enough in their brain that it's solidified like it has for you, because you already came up with it, right? Yeah. And like, whichever way it goes by, if I'm working with someone who already knows the thing, and I'm like, I don't know that, like, you can, to a degree, if you pick up stuff real good, you can just get it. And then luckily for me, I'm pretty okay with, if they're teaching me the thing, I can pick it up in the 10, 15 minutes I have with them. Yeah. You know, because sometimes that's all you're going to get, and you just have to deal with it, right? But when it comes to doing demos and stuff, this is where it gets a bit nerve-wracking, because if you haven't had a time to dance with that person much, they're coming up, we call it seco, dry. Yeah. You coming off seco, there's no
you don't want dry.
You don't want dry. It's always moist.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just
It's
glazed
just like,
over.
yeah.
So yeah, you wanna have a bit of that time, but that's just a pro tip again for
I
any
think
teacher. I think you just, if you can have some time.
with your partner, I think, look, a lot of the culture here, and I'm guessing everywhere else, like, you don't necessarily always have the same partner. Like the schools I teach, they kind of like shuffling, so I don't always get the same partner.
And that's really hard. That's really hard.
So you
Yeah.
don't necessarily get to go. You kind of, when you're preparing, I'm like, is this something they will like? Is this something they love doing? And I have to factor that into it. And to be fair, like when I'm coming in with it, I generally have a little bit more practice time because I'm practicing with myself,
Right.
and I'm like almost throwing it at them at the last minute, and
Yeah.
they have to go. But it does add pressure. I think when I prepare now, I have class stuff.
Mhm.
I have pre-demo, like I would have class of like, this is the basics gist of the whole class.
Yeah.
Here's, if you feel too comfortable with it, here's a bit of zhoosh. And then I have a version for demo, which is
Mhm.
extra bit, playing with the musicality with the
Yeah.
same move. So then I can like demo, like for example, this move can be done in the verse part.
Yeah.
This can be done in the high energy part. This can be done in the mambo part. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but you break this down in, like, we call tech video, but you do this in a tech video, tech demo, where it's just you're breaking down them.
the break, I don't necessarily explain it out loud, but then I'll prepare for it.
Sure.
So I can have like the derecho version of the same move, the Maha version of the same move.
Mhm.
So then we have that like conversation, so the students can see, oh, I could use this
Yeah.
in a different way. And then depending on the song, there might be some musicality elements.
Mm.
I can kind of sprinkle that on top for the demo.
Right.
So I think overall the class gets an overall, like, at the very least, this is the concept. This is, if I feel comfortable, I can add a bit of spice. And then this is the version I can use in the demo. And I think it also shows off a bit of flexibility with someone more professional, because
Yeah.
then you get to show off their version of the same move. So
Yeah.
I think, to me, that's exciting to build those 3 or 4 versions. That's what I
Yeah.
mean by preparation in that sense.
Right.
And I think there is a little, I don't know, it's pressure or fear of the demo. So that helps.
A bit of pressure, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, for me, it's no pressure to do it.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for my partner
Yeah.
because they're the one they're gonna have to deal with my
Improvise,
crazy.
yeah.
And if we haven't trained or if we haven't prepared for it, their brain has been fixated on the class. So it's a bit, you gotta kind of, I don't know. I have to actually tone down my crazy sometimes
Gotcha.
in my demos.
Yeah.
To make sure, again, this is like what you would do in a normal dance scenario. When
Right.
you're going out dancing, if you're a good dancer,
Yeah.
you're not going to dance to your level to someone who is on a lower level.
Yeah.
Or, you up your game if it's someone who can match it. At the minimum,
Right.
can match
I think when you're teaching, it's one of those things where you have to kind of figure out. I think that's where that even if it's 10 minutes of preparation before the class,
Yeah.
it's important to kind of feel where they are energy wise and where your partner is, and what if they're in a thing of like, I just had a car accident. Oh, here's some complicated as musicality things. It's not going to work.
No.
I think it's just feeling the energy for the day. And look, it's really important to like really kind of always be feeling and always be prepared in that sense, because that's the only way we can do what? Make our class
moist. I mean, yeah. Our bitch.
Our bitch.
Yes, yeah, I got it. I remember.
Yeah. So
but
I
also
think,
moist is a good time.
yeah, I think again we agree. Dry, no good. Moist.
This is one of mine today.
Oh,
I'm claiming it. I'm claiming this topic today.
it's yours.
Yeah. I'm thinking about heat.
Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls. Quite relevant actually, because it's summer here
Yeah, in
Melbourne
Australia.
right now.
This heat is ridiculous.
We actually have to turn off air conditions because you guys can hear it. So literally sweating balls, a little bit of airing it out. Yeah. How do you deal with it? Like dancing, it's not light activity. It's a lot of sweating happening.
Hey, listen. With my nuts,
Yes.
here's what I do. here's a pro tip: wear underwear. I'm being no. Listen, okay. Here's the thing.
Okay, ooh,
I
okay,
don't
serious. Okay.
listen. I like to go commando constantly. Right.
Okay.
That's just
like Arnold. Commando.
Yes.
Okay.
I like to go commando constantly on hot days, especially when I go dancing. I can control my dick enough. I don't need underwear to help me. Right.
Is that what you think the purpose of underwear is, to control your dick?
For me, it is.
Okay.
For me, it is. No, I'm pretty good now.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, not so much. No, I'm kidding. No,
Yeah.
this is another topic
Happens.
for another day.
Happens.
But
Sweaty balls.
In a sweaty balls
Yeah.
scenario, I like to use underwear, that kind of compact shit, and then I don't have to worry about the rest of the pants being.
I like that we're saying
wet.
this. Like, oh my god, guys, did you guys know?
You didn't know? You didn't know this is what happens?
So
We're all gross, okay? Look, it's not just the guys.
mhm.
Okay, followers,
Yeah, your balls
your balls, man.
stick to the side of your thighs
Just
too
sit on
sometimes.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, but going back to sweaty balls, I think
Right.
it is common. How do you like? Because sweat,
Yep.
heat,
Yep.
delirium
Delirium?
What the
in
fuck
heat.
Oh, sorry. So in English.
Yeah. I was born here.
So it's all right. I only know like 4 or 5 languages. So I'm glad you know how many now. 2?
Two.
Good.
Fuck you.
So at some point, okay, let's talk about this because I think it's important because I feel like managing heat for yourself is more important.
You haven't explained to me delirium.
I know. I'm teasing you. I'm just holding you.
You're a
off.
motherfucker.
I know.
All
Okay.
right.
So delirium is when you're like all confused and combobulated. Another word, like when you're all okay.
Is it my
when you're
balls that are confused? And
when you're the brain confused.
right. When your brain
Confusion says confused
Uh-huh.
in dance. So like I
Right.
like by the third dance,
Right.
I would come out of like a turn and be like, where am I? What's going on? And
And
it's
you're
the
gonna be
heat.
spotting, motherfucker. Shit.
Yeah, but I'm like, there are so many spots. Which one do I look at?
I think you're gonna get that check, bro.
It's like at this heat, I'm like, do I look at this spot or this one that's floating across the sky?
Uh-huh.
That's a pretty one.
Yeah, right.
So I think as you like heat exhaustion, I'm
Right.
like,
Okay. Yep.
that happens. Like I
Yeah.
feel like, especially doing 3 or 4 dance in a really hot venue,
Mm.
like I get to a point where I'm like almost feeling rumbling in my stomach and I'm like I can't
Right.
breathe and
Yeah.
now this follows to get me like do something exciting and I'm like what's my name what's my name
What?
who am
my
I
name?
why am I you know and you're in that state and I think like I think that's one of those things especially
Yeah.
now like you have to kind of heat manage and look I know venues struggle because again the heat here is like 30 to 35 at least and humidity when that humidity hits you're sweating you're going crazy and yeah I think you have to kind of know when to like take a break would you say
100%. Yeah.
okay
No, you need to. No, you need to. You need to drink
Okay.
water. Get out of there and
Mm.
drink some water. Air yourself out.
yeah
Not just your balls.
I mean
but just
you start with balls and work your
you
way
start
up.
your balls and work your way up. He's the fan. Yeah. I mean, look, it varies a lot for a lot of people. I
Okay.
think recently we had a place. We had a party. For me, it was great. I love hot Bikram dancing. I love it. I'm maybe in the minority in this place, but here's why. Because I think in general, when you're dancing, you're always sweating. There's no
Mhm.
ifs or buts about it, right?
Mhm.
This is why I'm saying like
It's definitely butts about
but there's some buts with the
Mhm.
sweat and the butt and the crack.
it yeah
But in this way, it's like we're all on even playing fields when it's a hot Bikram dance
mm-hmm.
event happening. And no fault of the event. You can't help what happens to the venue. The venue is not built to deal with it.
with 300 people and
300
being
people
hot,
dancing, being hot.
humidity yeah
The floor was moist. And I love moist. And that shit's dangerous, but that's, you
Yeah.
know, it cool in a way. Like this was weird. I've never seen it before in my
Yeah.
life. But the floors were wet. I'm like, that's crazy, man. The heat in this bitch. Australia is like killing venues with their heats. It wasn't built for that shit.
I think just humidity. Like I
Mm.
recently visited Malaysia, and and I was saying like the day one I was like struggling to breathe.
Right.
Day two DNA kicked in, and I was like, oh, this feels like home.
My genetics
You know,
works.
my genetics. It's like superpowers.
Excellent.
And
But-
I feel like in Australia especially the heat is dry,
Yeah.
and the places are not built. Like if you look at our venues and even our homes, it's not built for moisture in the air. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
this
that
humidity
humid
is kind of
stuff.
new.
Yeah.
So the floors come out, like the flooring doesn't stick properly.
Yeah.
There's air conditions are just flowing water into the thing.
Yeah.
It's just not built for it. Like some venues have, like for example, one of the venues I teach in, we have like fans just for the floor,
Yeah.
so that the floor just
Wow,
stays
that's a good idea.
dry.
Yeah. It's
Like I never thought floors sweat.
There's
Like floors sweat.
never thought about it.
And I think it is very dangerous because most of us are wearing like dance shoes,
Yeah.
and they're built for dry, slick places. So if you make it more slicker, like it's good for people like me who like sneakers,
Yeah.
but it is still
Oh,
dangerous.
really dangerous.
But I also there's the other side of it where like I finally feel like these dances were not built in countries where you don't sweat.
Yeah.
A lot of the places where these dances come from,
Mm.
it's built to be, I don't know, it's not ballroom, it's not this, which is ironic. You would think you want to dance like that if you want to have a bit more air.
Right.
You won't be dancing like this when you're sweating.
Yeah.
But there's something about it that feels, you're right, like I felt better in a humid climate
Yeah.
dancing
Yeah.
than I did in air conditioned, perfectly sealed,
Look,
environments.
I'm a gross motherfucker, so I like being wet.
Okay.
I like being moist.
Yeah,
I like
soggy.
I like
You're
me being
soggy.
soggy.
Yeah,
That's really. Is it weird that that's a worse?
I think you're trying to make it sexy by saying moist, but you're soggy, bro.
Soggy. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just a bit soggy. There were I like it a lot. I like it that the person I'm dancing with has
Yeah.
to deal with the same shit. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Sweat. You're talking
we're
about
just
sweat.
sweaty and
Sweat, salt, and water.
yeah. And look, I'm one of those people that I have to work really hard to sweat. I do.
Oh.
Like in my whole general body, I have to work quite hard to sweat. It'll take me an hour, 2 hours to
Interesting.
really get some moisture happening for me. When I'm in a Bikram dance,
It happens.
I walk in and I'm just like,
All right.
just shit in my eyes. I'm just like, I haven't even started yet. This is going to be great. You
Yeah.
know, that's for me. I don't know. I get super energetic and then I have to remember to stop to drink water and not
Right.
dance with people
Right.
or
right,
get a
right.
headache or whatever. So obviously, your
So
health.
you have, what's the word now? Delirium.
Thank
Learned a
you.
new word. I'm
I'm
glad I can be an
learning
English
shit.
teacher.
Thanks for that, man.
But I think going back to the sweat, for me,
On the balls?
on everywhere. Like
All
it
right.
starts balls. Again, everything starts balls. Like
Yeah.
you feel the music in your balls. Everything is the balls.
Mind you,
I mean, you wear them around your neck because you can remind
I-
yourself where the balls are.
It's so big and lumpy.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's too smooth, man. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not accurate. It
It's
needs to
not-
be soggy
yeah.
and loose.
These are my anal beads, by the way.
Ah.
They're not the
I like the progression.
Yeah, you need a progression.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like lawnmower, I get you. How do I say it? So with the sweat,
Yeah.
I'm okay. My brain went to anal beads.
That's it.
Like when you start something like that, like I have so many fucking jokes.
That's
that
what you get for fucking throwing it at
I
me.
know. I feel like it's not like I get distracted. I'm like, do this joke. There's so many in my head that I have to kind of pause.
Yeah.
But with sweating, there's
Right.
also this element of, I used to be a lot more big. I just recently lost 20 kilos.
You did good, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I think I am the opposite. I sweat just because.
Just because.
And I think like
Yeah.
most of the times walking up to the venue, especially if it's on like a second floor,
Mm.
I already like prepared my body to be
Right.
slick.
So you got to be really prepared on any given day, not even just a hot.
I think just waking up, I need to be prepared.
You just wake up.
I
You just
think
got the
like
towel.
going from there's a moment
Yeah.
from the shower
Yeah.
and you dry yourself or you dry.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of like, I got great skin because it's always moisturized naturally,
Yeah. Good.
right?
Yeah.
And I think the pro is that, but the con is you do have to deal with sweat.
Yeah.
But in the dancing world, I kind of start to have a different view on it. It's almost human. to sweat. I think
Right.
I feel like a lot of people shame
Oh yeah.
sweat. Oh, you're sweaty. You're da 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 da.
Yeah.
And look, I know a lot of people profusely sweat, and I know people come in with like multiple t-shirts,
Yeah.
multiple this thing, and I think it's something you can deal with personally.
Mm.
I initially when I came, I mean, I had a story where when I first started dancing, I remember dancing with someone. And I was still new. So I was like, okay, I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Everyone's kind of warm. So it's all understood. And I went to dance with someone and they went, ew, you're sweaty.
What a bitch.
Still, well, anyway.
I mean,
Yeah, but at
she was causing facts. I mean, she was, yeah.
And I think because she said it so publicly and out loud, I think I was like embarrassed, like, oh, is this not normal? And like now I feel like, shut the fuck up and just dance.
I mean,
you
it's
know?
not nice. It's not nice to
Yeah.
just go,
Yeah.
sweaty. Like, look,
Yeah.
you're sweaty, and the etiquette of that is really hard. You know what I mean? Like, dance with the person,
Yeah.
but you don't have to dance with them too much, or maybe you can take them aside. I don't know. It's hard because if you don't know people,
Look,
it's
some
hard to do
people
that.
do. I get it. Like if you're dry, or if the other person's dry, and if you're not equally moist,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I can
Soggy.
tell. Like if, especially, I think I'll give this. I think as leads, our clothes are generally bigger, and it holds a lot more moisture.
Hmm.
So I get it. Like it's like holding a wet towel in a weird way. Like you know what I mean?
This is why I say I like these places, because you're all on an even playing field. When you have a hot day and a hot dance, no one can complain shit about nobody, because you're all on the same boat.
Yeah.
Like I was speaking to someone yesterday, and it was like, "Oh man, it was so bad. I felt so shit. Why? Because I was wet. Everybody was wet, motherfucker. Like
just deal with it. And look,
It's
I think
fine.
there is a moment when I think just to counter that story that I said, even though that happened, I was a lot more like I would bring towels, I'd bring
Yeah.
multiple things.
Yeah.
There was a dancer, same thing, like a follower who I would apologize a lot. I would apologize for it. When I'm a beginner, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm a beginner, da 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 da. Like there were people in my life who went like, stop apologizing, don't worry about it. Like everyone starts
Yeah.
there. And I
Yeah.
had the same moment with the sweating, because I had somebody go,
Mm.
look, it's salt water. We're both human. It's okay.
Yeah.
And like, I think even for followers, they're worried. Like, I like the feeling of like, yeah, I'm holding them and I can feel drops of sweat on my arm. I don't care. I feel like, look, I'm making them, we're both working through it. Like
We're there,
our
yeah.
bodies are moving. It's fine.
There.
We're supposed to sweat. It's salt
Yeah.
and water. It's fine. Once I had that perspective, I feel more liberated
Yeah.
rather than feeling self-conscious.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good thing. And look, in the end of the day, what are you gonna do? Like, it's a hot day, you're gonna sweat. Just don't stick to each other unless you like that kind of thing, which
Yeah.
sometimes I do. And when you stick together and then you're really drenched in each other's sogginess. But like, if you're about that, cool. If you're not about that on a hot day, I'm like, so it makes sense, man. Like, you take what you need to take to
I think there
Make
needs to be a
yourself feel better.
conversation, and there need to be a management in that too.
right.
Like I know people who, like, especially in Kizomba, everyone dances close, and like
Yeah.
in these hot days, I know they don't want a clump of their hair like stuck to the side of their face, and
Mhm.
I don't want to like swoosh out of their face either.
Yeah.
So I think for me, at least when I dance, I have those moments of closeness, and when it gets hot, I give space. I
Yeah.
use the moves to my advantage
Of course.
of like managing heat and
Yeah.
managing this thing. And I think like having that good moments is great. I think you have to work yourself into, I'm not saying just sweat on everyone, but I'm saying you need to be able to manage it between yourself.
And look, if you really hate it, just don't be there. There's some people who can't deal with it, and that's totally fine, man. Just
I think it's okay to, if you don't feel it, like if you feel like it's a hot day, I only want to dance, but know that these dances were meant and done in countries where it is hot.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be danced that way. And again, to me, I would say what they would told me, it's just salt and water.
yeah,
It's fine.
it's fine.
It's
You're gonna be
natural.
fine. You're not gonna get some sort of AIDS. You're fine.
Although smell is something that I would be.
That's another. Day.
I think it's related. Like more like there are parts of your body that generate smell. And here's a trick. I'll say
the
this.
balls.
The balls, so
How close are you going?
if they're super close, like we, for
so
swamp
good.
ass is a thing. You didn't know what that was.
What is that?
Swamp ass.
Swamp. Oh,
It's it's all your, all the sweat from the top of your head to your back, all funneling into your butt. That's swamp ass.
that is disgusting. I'm a nasty bitch, and that shit is.
Well, for somebody who doesn't sweat, you won't understand this, but that's what happened. There is
No, my ass sweats. the way you explained it.
It's not the ass.
I never thought about it.
It's not ass sweat
it's not ass
necessarily.
sweat.
It's ass sweat with all the sweat flowing down your back, funneling into your butt. Underwear is important because of this, because it absorbs it before it gets there.
So it's a waterfall.
It's a waterfall. It's a beautiful human
buttfall.
Yeah, buttfall. I mean, it ends up in a swamp.
Right.
Right.
It just gets progressively worse.
Yeah, like top of the waterfall is wonderful, but it just ends up in a swamp. It's got nowhere to go. There's no ocean to go to. There's no beautiful ocean. It's going into a swamp. Okay, so that's that's swamp ass. That's swamp ass. My point is, it's
tasty.
Wow, it seals in the flavor. Really seals in the flavor.
Fermented.
It's like fine wine, but not really. Yeah.
Oh shit!
I like making.
It's a good time.
You learned delirium, swamp ass.
Swamp ass.
Yeah.
I forgot about swamp ass.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that happens.
Yeah.
But I think it's smell is when sweat pools. There are certain parts of your body, edges. I like to call the corners of your body. So anywhere where it folds is where the smell comes from. It doesn't really smell like on the surface. Generally speaking, generally speaking, anything with a crease is where it smells. So if you can, like, I know there's a perception. I think especially in Australia, like, there's not a lot of guys with beards. A lot of this thing. I think especially with curly hair. I think there's a perception that if you have curly, thick hair, you probably smell bad. So I've always been self-conscious, and I've always made sure I smell great.
Yeah, me
throughout
too.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
But I also know the trick is not to. I can't just spray all over.
Right.
I have to be specific about corners of my body, including my balls, where I know if I take care of them as the smell generators. If I think of that,
you got a smell generator.
My whole body is a smell generator. I just shut down. Every corner is like okay. I know it does that, and I think.
Do you bring any additional?
No, I think I leave some stuff in the car.
Yeah.
So I have like roll-ons for edges. I have sprays. I think even I think guys don't know a lot about perfumes and stuff. Like I got educated much better later. Like there are perfumes that they smell a certain way, but when they blend with your sweat, they smell different and better. So the same perfume, if I sprayed and you sprayed, by the way, we're not twins. We just look kind of similar.
Isa my brother.
Yeah. So when the same spray, I can spray on you and me, and it'll smell totally different because how we do things. So I think figuring out certain perfumes that work for you, cologne. I can't remember the difference. Cologne or fragrance that blends.
Cologne, I think, is more for men.
I think those are but there are perfumes that it smells how it is, and that's how it's like an overall spray. But there are things that blend with your sweat and create a whole new smell. And I think we have generally for guys, when we sweat, we generate a bit of hormones as well. So it's musk. That's what you call musk. When your musk blends with the perfume, it creates an aura of So. I think it's important to use that as your advantage, especially most of the dances we are holding people close.
Yeah,
it is nice if you smell nice, and your sweat is your friend. Where that sweat combined with that perfume really brings out.
That's really interesting, man. I never thought of it. I guess because I'm not a what do you call it? Like I'm not profusive sweater.
You're right. So
So I don't get there's parts of me like anybody else that it's stinky, and I focus on those bits. Like I do a trick, and it's not your trick, obviously, right? Because you're working with sweat.
Right.
I'm working with whatever I fucking want. Right. So I end up adding one or two perfume
Okay.
colognes that I like that kind of match.
Okay.
And then I add obviously beard oil because you want this part to be good.
Mhm.
And then I add an additional couple of oils in certain parts that I know is going to be contact.
Right. Okay.
Um,
So like essential oils kind of stuff,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
just like
yeah.
moisturizing oil.
So the moisturizing is just to keep the shit good.
Yeah.
But these oils I use in specific spots to have that kind of.
Right.
These are the points where you'll probably have the closest amount of contact, and I use that a lot. And nobody can figure out what I'm wearing, which is great.
Which is good. And also, like, I have to stay away from essential oils because people already confuse both of us. So I don't want us to be like I still go to things, even like people would see me at the venue, both of us, and like you would walk away and like they would smile at me and come be like, "Oh, you're back already?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just arrived," but like it's basically because they talked to you,
Yeah.
and you said I'll be right back, and I
You
just
came
came around the corner, and they're like, "Oh, you're back." Yeah. So it's confusing, and I think
it's better when we wear very similar things.
I think it's like we don't
make a plan for it.
Yeah, but it just happens, and I think
Yeah.
I have to specifically keep in mind to not, in a weird way, not smell like you.
You can be like me, man. It's so good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You've been going off my good looks.
Yeah. You took this from me, motherfucker.
I think my DNA took that from me, man.
Oh wow, yeah. All the feels.
Yeah. So you know what? I'll take it. I think you started working on your beard a bit more.
Yeah, I did actually. I did.
Yeah.
I did since you started doing some of the more fades.
Yeah.
And my wife and my girlfriend fucking love the fade. They're just like, fuck yeah.
I think in a weird way we can kind of look at like, oh, that works. Maybe I should try it.
Yeah.
But there are like, I'm consciously try not to smell like you.
That's fair.
Like there are certain things that I like. Like I'll wear like beads and I go like, ugh, I don't want to be like, they like confuse me.
We should totally fucking own it. We should we should just get the same gear and go out and try to confuse as many people as possible.
Yeah, I think there's a part of me that like don't like if like fuck it, they're gonna already think double down into it.
Yeah.
But I think with like smells though, it's one of those things that I go like
you
have a specific smell, and I think
Yeah.
because you come with all of it, like
Yeah.
you come with the aura around it. I feel like when I put an essential oil, somebody gives me an essential oil, I'm like, I feel fake. I'm so...
Yeah, but do you like it though?
I like some of it. I think, again, with my culture, there's a little bit of like... So, stuff like sandalwood and stuff, it's so ethnic. Like, it's almost like saying bogan for me. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what those people do. Those people, the hyper-religious, right kind of people in India, that's what they wear. So I have like almost, not a negative, like I have like I'm falling into my stereotype.
Right.
Feel. So it's the same thing like when people go, you want to come do yoga? I'm like, oh. It's not that I can't do and I don't enjoy, but it's more like, it's kind of like expected of me, I guess, in a weird way. And it feels like...
I think that the funny thing is I think this happens the same with dancing, you know, and this could be a different topic for another day, but like even as a Latin person, what, you don't know how to dance?
Yeah, I think...
Right, I mean, like, and a lot of them don't.
They don't, or they think they do because they danced with their mom when they were small.
Yeah.
And it's something.
Yeah.
But it's not... I don't know. That's another topic.
Right, it's different. Yeah.
A lot of the dances, they have their eyes closed. And I feel like there are certain things, like at this point, because it's not that huge of a community, I can feel, like it's weird, but I know the curves of the followers. So I can like close my eyes and be like, I know who I'm dancing with.
Yeah.
And I would notice stuff like them losing weight. I'll be like, this is different. And they're like, yeah, I've been trying to lose weight, because you feel the curves. I feel like for the follows, a lot of our smells matter. So they will in a way recognize you, or like there's a sense of comfort or like safety in knowing the smell. And they're usually pretty vocal about like, oh, you smell nice.
Yeah, constantly. Yeah, I think that's the best. But that's, I think you want to strive for that regardless, right?
Yeah.
Like not an identity or per se, but hygiene is important. Like gum.
Yeah, that's
mints.
another thing. I think breath
Bad breath is-
bad breath is it's not a summer limited. Although we're
Yeah.
talking about summer specific stuff, I think bad breath is one of the top things, and I think you should strive. It's
it's
very
horrible.
hard
Yeah.
to deal with that, especially how close you are.
Mm.
And I think which kind of leads me to another topic. Anyway, closing this up, I think it's like
We like wet.
smells. Wet's your friend.
Wet's our friend.
Wet's our friend. It's acceptable to be wet,
Yes.
and it's if you know what you need to do, you can use it as an advantage, not as a disadvantage.
Yeah, of course.
And sometimes you just need to give into it. You just go, this is how it is,
Yeah.
and we are in this, and let's see how we can kind of enjoy this. And like, trust me, there is really fun things on the other end of wet. As I was saying the sentence, I was like,
There are always a fun place
yeah.
on the other end of wet.
There's always something fun. It's always good. It's dry
Sounds
is
great.
bad. Which leads me to another interesting topic.
Mm.
How do you tell
A female dance partner.
she smells? Who tells her that?
That's hard. I think that it's hard for most people in general to tell anybody that you smell.
I don't think if you smell, I can say stuff, and I think like I find it
but we
so
know
much
each
easier.
other.
No,
We know
even
each-
if not, I think I have sort of like, let's just say your breath smells and I didn't know you. I'll be like, oh, I'm getting some mints. You want some?
Yeah, that's a low key.
Yeah, but I also go, and if they say no, thank you, I go, no, I think you should have one. I'm okay with that. I feel
You're
like
okay with that.
I feel
Alright.
like people almost always
Yeah.
say thank you.
Yeah, if you offer a mint, most people will just take it. And that'd be
I
the
think
end of that.
when people offer you mints, just take it.
Yeah.
I think whether your
Just
breath
take
smells or not. Like the only reason I would do it is if I just had a mint. By the way, if you eat multiple mints, Baho says,
Oh.
I diarrhea right now.
Does it have a minty freshness?
I think you can feel the mint go.
you
Yeah, just the whole feels a bit too like.
Oh, your ass is minty fresh.
But yeah, if you have
Oh.
too many mints, yeah, it causes issues with your stomach.
I think
Just
that
saying.
happens with chewing gum as well, right?
Yeah,
There's
I
a
think
bit of a
there's
laxative in gum.
So if you have too many, it does happen.
Mm,
But I think it is still, if somebody offers a gum, take it.
just
And I'm okay if it's a guy to go, oh, it's okay. Like, dude, I think, look, I'll say it like a secret. Your breath smells. Let me get you the mint. Like, I'll do it like it's like a call.
it does help if you know the person. It's much easier to go, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think men in general are easier to deal with that stuff.
Yeah.
Like if we talk to other dudes, it's just basically, hey man. You know what I mean?
And also, we don't talk. I think this is where the other side comes in. Like, women talk. Like, I know guys, like, if I would go like, oh, this guy stinks, da-da-da. Did you tell him? No. And I'm like,
yeah,
what if it's me?
Yeah.
What if I stink and everyone's talking about it and not me? And like that's why I appreciate when somebody goes like, oh, it smells, or like you can tell like the guys are a bit more like they're always like smelling their stuff. They like it, and there's other things too. Like to be honest, like people like their clothes. So especially their favorite clothes they wear, and like there is a point when your clothes just absorbs just bad smells.
Yeah.
So it's
For
just
sure.
old. So I think you need to know that
Yeah.
you need to get rid of some t-shirts.
Yeah.
You need to be, I know it's not easy, and I know it's like probably not something you can do. I get cheap t-shirts. These are like $5 t-shirts.
Really?
You know?
It's spicy.
Yeah, they're spicy.
Yeah.
You got the little noodle.
Yeah.
Oh shit, there's a
Yeah,
bit
you got a
of
bit of a
spill in there.
spice. Maybe
Oh,
that's
no.
something you got to throw out, buddy.
Oh no, there's a chip in there. Oh no.
what
That's
what did we
saying.
just say?
I don't know
What
what,
did we
happened.
just say?
So you should be aware of your clothes.
Yeah. That's
I
wrong.
was like, oh, the spicy noodle is leaking. Anyway, how's there a chip in my pocket?
I
What
mean,
happened?
Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, clothes do. Some of the older clothes do stick on to the smell sticks on.
Sometimes even when it's not even that, it can be like there's times where I've had like that really damp, really gross smell that has nothing really to do with the top. It's more like how you washed it, how you hung it out,
Yeah.
things like that. And
I
then
think
you-
most of those clothes, like you have to kind of re-dry it,
yeah.
like re-wash it or re-dry it.
re-dry.
But the older clothes still, it's just so
it just takes
sensitive
yeah.
to that stuff that you sometimes have to let go.
Yeah.
I think what is her name? Mary Kondo it, where you just go take the cloth and go, thank you for being there.
Man, I this shit hard for me as well. I got my favorite shirts and things
Yeah.
like that. It's like I'm happy that I have a wife that always culls my shit, or like she'll tell me, all right, it's the season of culling, and we just like off we go, get rid of shit.
I think that was very hard. I think I do get it more like this is the time when I was depressed. This is the time when I won this. Like I have clothes like that, but I think I have to kind of go make peace with it in a weird way and let it go. And sometimes just straight up lazy.
Yeah.
I think now I want to keep a wardrobe that's like I want to just go and grab something and it looks good and I'm okay with it.
Yep.
And I don't buy anything expensive. A lot of my stuff is basics. A lot of stuff that I want to just wear, use, and especially because you're dancing, it's stuff that you're going to sweat in.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to quick dry it, deal with smells. So there's no tolerance for it. Like, and look, I'm talking from a place of privilege where I'm able to buy that. I know not a lot of people might be able to buy that many clothes.
Right. And some people are actually like they're allergic to certain stuff that they can't even have specific roll-ons or sprays, and which is unfortunate if you are someone who does smell bad and can't have the most basic thing to make you smell better.
Look, you're talking about like aluminum in the thing, that kind of stuff.
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Like there's some people who just like you can mention it to them and they're just like, I can't because I'm allergic to it. It's like at that point you'll probably need to go see a doctor.
You probably what I'm saying is there's a product for everyone, and I think if you don't take the effort to change it, and look, the people will talk about it. I guess this is a place where we talk about it, where maybe we don't talk about it to everyone, but if people are, I hope you guys take something out of this, where you go like, oh yeah, why don't I do that? Because we all do it at this point. Like even you were learning about the perfumes today, how it's blending other things. You always learn, and so open to have that discussion, and I think that's where it leads to like there are taboos still, right? Like, which is where like the whole like who tells
a female dance partner
they smell, because
I've got friends who I love dearly and I still don't say anything. Like it's crazy. It's crazy that we leave it like this. And for me, as someone who's quite expressive, like I could just sit there and talk to anybody, but especially for me to tell to a woman, a smelly, it's hard because I know, like, look, both sexes put a lot of effort. Like you and I, we put a lot of effort as males to actually look good, dress good, smell good, all that shit, right? Shave, all this sort of stuff. We put the effort. Like there are many men, and us included, we put a lot of effort. Women are like
different levels.
They're different levels. But some of them have been born with that kind of stuff. They've been raised with that sort of stuff. And then you can tell they put effort and they still like maybe bad breath. You're like, fuck, you were so close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you love them and you don't want to be like, oh, damn it, what do I just deal with it? And I'm pretty good with smell. But still.
Yeah. I think, look, I've had women who like, okay, there is a DNA aspect to it. There are certain people who sweat smell worse too. I know, like for me, like there's a certain DNA of people who sweat smell like. Have you ever had a fish tank? No, hold on. Have you ever like cleaned a fish tank?
No.
Okay, if you have a fish tank,
I'm just smelling fish now. So.
Yeah, it's worse. It's fish shit that's in the bottom of the tank. So when you clean a tank, there's a specific smell.
So it's not just fish smell; it's fish shit smell.
Fish shit.
Right.
And when you drain the tank, there is a wet, fishy shit smell that comes from the tank. Okay, the fact that you haven't experienced this is funny to me, but if you do, you will instantly know what that feels like.
Why would I clean a fish tank?
Well, I don't know. Some people have hobbies. They have fish.
They have fish.
They have fish. But okay, the pond smell. You know when you walk around in a pond, there's like a pond smell. Yeah. That's pond scum, or like it's what the fish poop is.
Yeah.
And it's like stagnant water smell.
Right.
And some people's sweat smells like, it's like some, you know how some people can't eat cilantro or
cilantro?
What's the word for it here?
What is that?
What do you put on Thai food? It's not coming to
Is it
me.
like a fish sauce?
No, it's like a leaf that you put on top.
Oh.
Coriander.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, see?
I'm not about it.
Yeah, because you know why? Your DNA makes the coriander taste like soap. That's why you don't like it.
That's why I don't like
It
coriander.
tastes different. Yeah. There's two types of DNA. So there's the type of DNA that makes coriander taste totally different. For you, when you eat it, it tastes like soap. So that's why you hate it. And that's a DNA thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Learning a lot of
Fun
things today.
facts, man. What the fuck?
So we're going that with delirium. We
Mm.
talked about swamp ass.
Swamp ass.
And now cilantro
Yeah.
and perfume. Mixing
it.
one. Yeah, must.
Yeah.
See?
I'm not giving you any fucking
Yeah,
help.
that's fine.
This is great.
I'll carry this all
You
by
carry it
myself.
on. Yeah, that's cool, yeah.
Yeah, so I think same thing with sweat. I think there is a perception that, like, there are certain DNAs that the sweats that smell worse for me because of the type of DNA. And like I think there's like a deep compatibility thing behind the DNA stuff. Like if you're not compatible with the person, or not necessarily because they're a bad person, but you might have a common ancestor or some shit like that. Like it's like a way to like, no, don't deal with this DNA.
So if someone smells bad to you
in that specific way,
it's
probably because there is some ancestral reason for it.
But if everybody can smell that, does that mean the same
probably
thing?
Like in the sense of like it's probably the same family of things. There's some reason for it.
Wow, science.
And it's probably like saying like, oh, don't fuck with this person. I mean, don't fuck this person.
Don't fuck this person.
You know, it's kind of like that. But I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there is DNA reasons for it. My point is, it's some smells are worse, and I think
for some people,
so you might be a bit more sensitive to when they smell compared to everyone else. Knowing that makes you go, okay, it's not that they might be super stinky, it's because you're adept to looking for that smell as being bad, and if they're actually smelly, it just goes to level 10. So I think it's knowing that helps. Still is not an excuse, and I still find it hard because I think there is a perception that like, oh, women are angels. I really hate the fact that when in dancing we say stuff like, you're the frame, she's the picture. No, you're not fucking pictures, bro.
I like that.
I'm a fucking Polaroid. Shake me.
I mean, shouldn't we all be frames and pictures?
I think we should all
need to be frames and pictures, man.
I think we need to swap in that sense. Sometimes you're the frame, sometimes you're the picture.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And I think because of that perception, I think guys don't tell girls that they stink.
Because we're constantly putting them as pictures.
Yeah. Right. So we kind of put them on pedestals and they're delicate and like whatever.
And so who gives a shit about a guy if he's a stinky guy?
And it also comes back to you. Like I feel like whenever if they're not close friends, if I do say, hey, would you like a mint? They're so offended and they do kind of attack you. Well, you are bald. Okay. Thank you. Or like like the antagonist. Again, to be fair, I feel in like women's world, your reputation matters a lot. So I think calling someone stinky is a real low blow.
Right. Because for men, for us to be gross and stinky is almost expected.
Also, like kind of funny. I think we can talk about
we can be gross and funny and stupid, but it's also just in generally accepted that men are gross. But women aren't supposed to be gross.
Yes.
So
it's
you can't say anything.
Yeah, I think it's like it's like you don't say it even if it happens. And the problem is, women don't tell other women too. Necessarily. That's the problem. It's not like, because I think if a guy smells and you don't want to say it, you can actually, I would say, go tell another guy to tell that person.
Right.
And as guys, we can be like, yo, man, what's that?
No.
Okay. Maybe
goddamn.
Open the window. Is that
Who
me?
opened the fish tank?
Is that me? It can't be me. It's not me. Is that? Never mind.
You know what my wife does to me? You know what Kimmy does? She'll do this to me when she thinks I'm stinky. She'll be just like, I mean, you motherfucker.
Uh,
You motherfucker. It's like, it's a bit spicy. I'm like, you lucky you motherfucker.
I think, look, with my friends, I can
just imagine, let's go.
yeah.
Let's just go. But it depends on who's your mate. You
Yeah.
can kind of pull that sort of shit
I
off.
think friends, even girls, it's fine. I think it's the strangers. I think
course,
with
yeah.
friends, you can be like, oh, sorry.
If you want to be a real
just
motherfucker.
blacked out because of your
Oh.
smell. You know what I mean? Like, you can do shit like that. You can
Yeah.
make it fun.
Yeah.
But I think it's not funny to women.
It's not funny to women. Yeah.
I think even
It's
within
really
women,
sensitive,
like,
yeah.
there's a certain, like, I don't want to be the confrontational person either.
Mm.
Like, it's not that they don't care about their friend. Like, it has to be their best friend to go,
Yeah.
no, come here, girl. You need to wear this right now.
yeah.
But like, if they're with someone and they don't really care, there's certain, like, I don't want to be the bitch who called her
Mm.
stinky.
I'd love to hear a female's perspective on that.
Yeah.
Actually. It would be
I've
freaking
asked a
mad.
few.
Yeah?
I think the perception is usually that it's like, I don't want to be the confrontational
So it's
person.
kind of in a similar vein.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I think what you say is true. I think it's just something that we need to like have more conversations
Yeah,
about.
we need to bring a female guest in here.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in the middle here and be like, so, what do girls think about?
Yeah, well, they can also like, how do they feel about us
Yeah.
when we stinky? Like, is it in the way that we think it is and stuff like that?
Yeah.
But I think just in general, having these conversations are really important.
I think so.
Anyway,
I think,
Yeah.
as the heat gets intense, so does the
of
conversation.
course, yeah. It's a
Um,
bit spicy.
Yeah. Yes. And leaky.
Leaky.
What else? Like, for heat, we talked about exhaustion. We
Yeah.
talked about sweating. We talked about smells. Any advice for people coming in brand new with
Brand
with
new
heat?
into heat. I mean, I think that just do the same thing that we all did. You know, depending, you have to know your body.
Yeah.
So for leaders or for followers, you know, maintain that hygiene. You know, already come in smelling the best you can smell. Maybe it has to be something anti-sweat, something or rather, if you know it's going to be a really bad one. Towels, shirts, if you really need it, if you really feel like you're the type of person that really needs to change that. Or take a break, go outside, dry yourself off, re-wet again if you need to. It depends. Again, it depends on your biology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really hard to kind of, and don't fight it. In the end of the day, like
if you're trying not to sweat, you somehow sweat. And like, it doesn't matter. Like, I know people who go like, oh, I'm not going to do salsa because I'm going to do kizomba so I don't sweat.
Bro.
And you do kizomba. I'm like, I am not moving, but I'm like streaming down because you're like just thinking makes you sweat.
Yeah.
I think it's just exaggerated when you're hot and you're like, why? I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm not lifting or doing anything. But like, just step tapping makes you sweat.
Just be mindful of the things that's happening around you. Like when I have sweat in my eyeballs, I need to stop.
Okay.
You know, I just need to stop. I just gotta go, okay, I have to stop, wipe it off, give me a minute, whatever. You just gotta fucking do it, kind of.
What about for professionals or like people who are in the thing? What would you like to?
What would I like to see from professionals?
Yeah.
In
heat.
In heat.
Mm-hmm. It sounds.
I mean, by then you should already know what to do.
I know. I think. Look, it's one thing to say you should already know, but we should have that conversation. Like, why not? Why not talk about?
Well,
like,
it's the same. It's the same thing, but you just have to do the same thing. There's I don't think there's any difference, a professional to a young person.
I think there is, in the sense of like, you're able to manage certain things as a lead. You're able to manage distance. You're able to give space.
Sure.
Like, you're not locked into like, I know how to hold someone and do step tap.
Yeah.
Now I'm boiling, she's boiling, but I don't know the moves to get out of it. No. Like, separate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, this comes down to just people that by that time they should already know when to have separation from a person where new people might not understand that.
Right. Yeah.
But they need to also be told the same thing.
Gotcha.
Right. So it's
but they might not have the vocabulary.
They might. Yeah. They
might have a routine in their head. Especially, I'm talking about like beginners to someone who a lot more experience.
Sure. Yeah.
I think a beginner would be like, I know this 4 steps.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this no matter the music
Yeah.
or like no matter the temperature.
Yeah.
I think it's like For them, it's like more important to go. I just have to be flexible and compatible. I think
I get
with a
that.
bit more experience, I think you're able to go. Also, like having that conversation with their bodies. Like there's a part of the music where you need to get close and you feel a resistance. I know it's like understood,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Of like,
Yeah.
you need to know that you don't need to pull them towards you or whatever. Like if you feel a little bit distance because of the heat, you should know that it's heat, and you should have the responsibility to go. If they come hugging you, you can literally rip their hands off, like fight them off into whatever you need to. I think
Just punch him in the face. It's fine.
yeah, I think, like, to be honest, like that too in dance culture, I feel like a lot of times as a lead, I'm expected to take things like,
Right.
just take it. I'm
Just
a
take
girl.
Yeah.
You can hold my weight. No, I don't need to hold your weight. You know what I mean? Like there are
Yeah.
things, and look, we can be slick about it, but there are times when you're more experienced, when you know, nah, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to adjust to your follows. Follows need to kind of adjust to the leads as well.
Yeah, it's a
And
team
I think
effort.
I think it's important to have that conversation, especially in heat, because the other thing that we need to talk about is the fact that it does get irritating. Like you get irritated a lot more. You do.
You got a short temper and heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like little things like just being soggy, and this thing might just actually be uncomfortable for some people.
Yeah.
And that goes for both leads and follows.
Yeah.
And being aware of it matters.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I think what the pros can do is obviously lead by example and do all those things and help out not the younger people,
The less
the
experienced,
newer people who might automatically, like you said, just come into a hug. And they should be able to put them in the frame that's necessary.
Yeah.
And do less in heat.
That's good. That's a good one.
Do less, because I do less in heat.
Yeah.
Like I love it, but I do less. I don't go.
I think I'll be
over.
honest. Like in a Kizomba social, and if you're there, I do look at you, like gauge like what energy you're playing at, because I don't want to overdo it or underdo it, in the sense of I do look at you going like, all right, Lucas is going ham, so I can go ham. Or like, is Lucas completely slowed down? Is this not a thing that I need to do? I'm still learning Kizomba. Figuring it out stuff, and like, so I think I can gauge better in a bachata, or not necessarily in a salsa, but like kizomba is something I still kind of look in a social to you to be like, this song says I need to do a lot, but you're slowing down, so you know what I mean. I do look, like I'm saying, like you do look to somebody more experienced, and that's okay to go, what is happening?
What's the
what's
the vibe to get?
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. That's good advice for people who are still learning stuff, and then even for professionals. I chill, obviously depending on music as well, but I choose my battles in hot weather. Yeah, like I choose my battles. It's like, all right, shit, this is gonna be a salsa. What kind of salsa is it? If it's a aguanile, I'm not touching with a 40-foot pole.
I'm so glad I don't know a word. What's an aguanile?
Aguanile is like one of the most hectic salsa songs in the world. Anybody who knows salsa, not, it's just a song. It's just a song.
Oh, it's the name of the song.
It's the name of the song.
Gotcha.
But it's just a hectic song. Like you're ready for 7 minutes of just hell. And sometimes DJs don't understand this, and this is maybe another subject. It's like what a DJ is playing to understand. It's a hot day. You can't just play the most hectic shit you want, or the most. Like you got to know it's probably going to be too hot for these people. Luckily, the salsa I danced the other night was chill, and I danced in that way, and I could see that, especially with wet floors or slippery floors or just whatever kind of dangerous thing, just don't dance the way you dance
on a non-hot day.
On a non-hot day, or when you can see that you're going to have to adjust to your environment. You just need to just be mindful of that stuff.
And like little things like bumping into stuff and other people and stuff.
That's really fucking annoying.
It does get annoying because it's the heat. It's know that that's what's happening, and have your peripherals on a lot more. Because everyone's a little bit more trigger happy. But in general case, like overall speaking to the whole thing, heat good. I like heat.
You heat
Yeah.
heat guy. You
I think
enjoy?
humidity actually encourages me now to like, oh yeah, this feels better. And like if
Yeah.
you know how to use heat to your advantage, it's a whole nother world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is actually.
Mhm.
Like just thinking about it, you're really in a different place.
Mhm.
You're thinking completely differently about what you need to do.
Yeah.
How do you handle songs? How do you handle partners? How do you handle your own body?
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like it gets you out of your old perception of, I mean, not old perception, your normal habits, and lets you think about using the same thing you know
Yeah.
in a different context. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I like it.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
I like the way you said it as well, where it's like I feel like I'm in a Caribbean place. I feel like I'm not in
Yeah.
the same place that I usually am,
Mhm.
and I feel more ethnic. It's really
Yeah.
funny. Like Arvina, let's go.
I think like now that I'm starting to dance in different countries too, like you can tell people are more used to that a little bit more, and they I mean we should, because in Melbourne our temperature changes quite often, but we don't necessarily dance outdoors. A lot of these countries are used to dancing outdoors a
Right.
lot, so they know how to control temperature. They know when to take breaks. They know when it's like I feel like we're kind of coddled, and we complain a lot about venues and stuff, but to be honest, like it's supposed to be danced, you know what I mean, outdoor, and not the best perfect situations.
It's a street dance for a reason.
So let's, in a weird way, let's get back to those roots, and hot dancing is hot.
Yeah, soggy dancing. It's a good
Soggy,
time.
I like that you have accepted it.
I've
So-
accepted it now.
So what are the 4 things you learned? 5.
Soggy.
Mm-hmm.
Wet. What is it called? Damp.
Damp.
Nah.
Swamp.
Swamp ass. That's the one. And what was the other one? Delirium.
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 Perfume.
Perfume in crevices.
Yeah.
I like it how I use it.
Yeah.
What else? Did I miss something?
You missed perfume, and then fuck. What's no,
Let's just
no,
close
no.
that
Okay,
up.
let's close that up. All right, it'll be all in the video. So I hope to see you guys in the next one. Beardos out.
Out.
Two dudes with some big beers, drinking beer and coffee.